market competition. Most involve clever legal maneuvering or even the exercise of political influence. What I mean to imply is that even in the modern day, if your goal is wealth, by all means apply yourself to the study of finance and commerce. But if your goal is vast, uncountable, truly extraordinary wealth, you need more. You need to know some wealth secrets. You may wish to use this book as a manual to attain the opulence of your dreams. Indeed, I encourage you to do so, as this will produce more rich people about whom I can write a sequel. But I suspect there will also be readers who consider this book and its stories a critique of the world in which we live now, a world characterized by growing income inequality and the detrimental effects of that inequality on public health and well-being. In the present day, the wide circulation of terms such as the 1% indicates that the general public senses something has gone awry with the rules of the game of capitalism. Yet, particularly in the United States, the self-made business person remains an almost untouchable icon. The man in the street may tacitly understand that some financial gains of the past decade are not legitimate, but would be hard-pressed to explain why. My book will satisfy this demand for explanations, giving the interested public a means to separate genuine entrepreneurs from those who are, to quote Barack Obama, gaming the system. The narratives of success will demonstrate why it makes sense both to celebrate entrepreneurship and to condemn the cases in which lines have been crossed, cases where we can justly call into question the legitimacy of the wealth accumulated over the past decade by a fortunate few, and more importantly, how you can join them. The Art of the Possible. In Charles Morris's book about the U.S. robber barons, he writes, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Gould, and Morgan would have been dominant figures anywhere. This is a commonly held view about the most successful individuals in any era. Great men, it is tempting to think, are great inevitably. Surely Carnegie and Rockefeller would have risen to the top whether they had been born as peasants in medieval Europe to a middle-class family in the present-day United States or into a merchant caste in 1930s India. I don't necessarily think that this is the case. Time and place seem to matter, so does luck. For Carnegie, for instance, an early oil field investment that happened to pay off spectacularly at $125 return for every dollar invested, providing him with capital at a crucial time. For Rockefeller, being in the right line of work when the railroads came calling with a most unusual request, as we shall discover. Did these individuals possess intrinsic qualities that all but guaranteed their rise to greatness? Perhaps, but even if so, it's not what interests me here. This book is not a book about inevitability, it is about possibility. It is about the factors that make it possible for some individuals, and in the case of the bankers, an entire sector, to obtain fortunes that rise above others in their time and indeed rank among the greatest fortunes in history. In fact, in a well-functioning market economy, one should not be able to make hundreds of millions of dollars year after year after year, which is what is usually required to earn $1 billion in a single lifetime. Indeed, economic theory implies that in a healthy, perfectly competitive market economy, business profits should be fairly close to zero, as we shall discover in Chapter 1. Hence, the profits we see all around us, those ritually reported by companies in quarterly earnings statements, those gained via brilliant hedge fund trading strategies, and even those obtained by well-meaning, deserving authors, stem from imperfections in markets. The stupendous fortunes of the world's billionaires, therefore, imply the existence not simply of a few market imperfections, but of giant gaping holes in economic reality, the kind of holes into which you can plunge your hand and extract $1 billion. You may have wondered, when you picked up this book, what an economist was going to tell you about wealth secrets. Economists are generally not much good with actual money. They tend to do things like prove conclusively that the global financial crisis did not exist.